Reality recap.
And hi, Evelyn. Yes, I know you have the reunion. Yes, we have 2 more episodes. And then we have the reunion of
I look like the slay. I look like a mom. She was like, you the one that look like you got a high body count hair. I fell the fuck out, y'all.
Candace, has Deborah reached out to you to apologize after the episode aired showing Chris did not flirt with her?
She wouldn't dare. She would get eaten for breakfast.
Oh boy.
No, she's doubling down.
Why would you go meet with Ray J without talking to Princess or letting her know why? Like, she's trying to justify that she told her after the fact and not supposed to make
What do
it.
you think of your ex-husband Jim coming out and saying you did not try to stop him from suing Shannon and Tamara?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, if his memory is a little foggy about what transpired back then, that's okay. However, he did admit that I had nothing to do with the.
Reality recap. Reality recap.
Hey, y'all, it's your girl V with Reality Recap here for another Tea Talk session. Today we are discussing last night's episode of Basketball Wives. You know, I always give you the episode information in case you guys are looking for it on other streaming platforms. But we are talking about Basketball Wives Season 12, Episode 3. The title of the episode is Bad Timing. Get it? Ty and Ming. So it's not spelled like how you would normally spell timing. It's spelled Ty/MING. So that is the episode we are discussing today. Before we get into it, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The YouTube channel is Reality Recap. No underscore, but Reality Recap 2876. It's also linked in my bios on Instagram and Facebook. And while you're at it, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on Facebook so that you can get all the exclusive tea on all the trending reality TV shows. I mean, there was a lot going on in the internet last night after this episode aired with the Basketball Wives castmates, Evelyn and Jen. So if you're not following me, how you gonna get that tea? The behind the scenes tea, the exclusive tea. So again, make sure you're following me on Instagram and Facebook. What you see here on the screen, reality_recap. All right, so let's get into it, and I will tell you about the drama, what transpired on the internet in regards to this episode. And y'all know the feud between Jen and Evelyn right now. But what happened was Jen ran into Evelyn's ex-fiance. She ran into him at a restaurant apparently, and he took a picture with her husband, Christian Walden Gold. And she posted the picture saying, you know, congratulations, what are the odds we were running to each other? And this is Evelyn's fiance, her ex-fiance, that he won her heart on the show Queen's Court. So his name is, what is his name? Lavon Lewis. So they took a picture and she posted it, and her story said, congrats on your engagement. So crazy how God works that we happened to be in the same restaurant when you were proposing. Wishing you and your beautiful fiance a lifetime of bliss. Hashtag dodge the bullet. So she posted that. Evelyn got wind of it, and Evelyn went ham. Like, she was tweeting up a storm. She also posted court documents showing that Christian has a court hearing on June the 4th for child support. If you guys didn't know, yes, Christian has children. He has 2 baby mothers. He has 1 child with one mother and 2 children with another. And it's the mom with the 2 children who actually did an interview with attorney Simone a few months back, telling her story of how, you know, she didn't really know Jen. He kind of moved on from her to Jen and left the kids behind. I can't remember everything in the interview because it was definitely a few months back, but I do recall, allegedly, because this is just my recollection, but I do recall her saying that they set some type of child support agreement outside of the courts, and then he, you know, got with Jen and wasn't adhering to the child support, so she had to involve the courts. But he has a court hearing, and it said in Evelyn's caption with the court document, she said, since you want to bring up my ex, let's talk about your man's ex. She's still waiting on her child support for her 3 and 4-year-old. Your man has court in Cobb County on 6/4. He's already skipped 2 hearings. You've got standards, and that's in quotations, for the clothes you wear, but not the D you suck. She had an eggplant. She said, Tim Thick Thighs, and she hashtagged it murderers and hashtagged it scammers. So a lot of you were saying murderers, what's going on there? You guys may not know that Jennifer also was dating Tim from Turkey Leg Hut. If you guys know, he was involved. He was arrested for a scandal of trying to a murder for hire with his cousin that was unalived. So his name is Tim Walls, I believe is his name. Is it? No. Let me look him up. Looking him up, y'all. Sorry. Tim Anderson. He was the former owner of Turkey Leg Hut. And yeah, so he was arrested for a murder for hire plot. So we also know the hashtag scammer Jennifer had another boyfriend, fiance, or something like that stole her Rolls Royce. She did a whole documentary on it. She talked about it on the show. That is the documentary that she was working on and going to court when she sent Jackie the cease and desist for talking about the situation when they were in Mexico a season or 2 back. So we know Jen doesn't have the best track record of picking men. She says the same about Evelyn and her, failed marriage or called off engagements. And she spoke about that too, saying that on her podcast, meaning Evelyn, she spoke about that on her podcast, just saying like, look, I may not make the good decisions, but I know beforehand, like I don't go into each engagement just getting married because I want to be a wife. If I see red flags, I'll call it off or I'll back off. And I've learned that over the years from her first engagement where she stayed with him for 10 years. And then Ocho, she got out of that right away. The last engagement, she didn't even go into the marriage because she's saying she's learned her lesson of what she will tolerate. She's not so pressed to be a wife that she will ignore the red flag. She also talked about some of the tweets last night that, when I was married, I was a great stepmother. My stepchildren were in my life. Where's your stepchildren? Do you even see them or worried about him being a good father? So the tweets were going back and forth. It got really heated. I personally think that Evelyn won that round. She went off. Jen definitely activated the Sagittarius in her last night, and I sat back and just. But if you want to see more, it's definitely posted on my Instagram page. So take a look, and on my Facebook. So let's get into the episode. The continuation of Evelyn and Jen's argument is where we started off. And I felt like Jen was backing down. Like Jen said it with her chest in the end of last episode that you always want to talk about someone's a felon, but your daughter just had a baby with a felon. And right off the bat, Evelyn, she's going to get defensive. You're talking about her daughter. No matter how old her daughter is, if she's grown or not, you still don't bring nobody's children into it. But then Jen tried to back out of it. I didn't say anything about Shanice. I ain't say anything about Shanice. I'm talking about, the guy she had the baby with. And it's like, girl, please. You know exactly what you said. So if you're going to say that, then stand on business and stay and stand on it. Don't say it and then try to back out and make like you made some roundabout comment. You talking about Shanice, you talking about the child of her, the father of her child. Like, come on, you knew what you was doing when you said that. So she's trying to, bring out the definitions book of, do I need to explain to anyone? I did not say anything about her daughter. You did, and you tried to back out of it before Evelyn jumped across the table and smacked you because you don't want no sauce. We've been there before. Brandy jumps in it. But the argument gets a little heated. She's bringing up Evelyn's daughter, and Evelyn told her that Christian is basically a basketball wife. I started hollering. She was saying, like, y'all not legally married. He's your boyfriend. You got married in Paris, but you didn't make it legal. There's no paperwork. There's no court filings. We've talked about this a few times now where I told you guys I couldn't find paperwork either. Still can't, by the way, but they claim that they're married. So then everybody's antennas is up and they're like, so was this just for social media? We all saw the wedding on our social media's feeds when they went over to Paris. It was a big thing. They had a party the day before on a boat. They got married. All of these things, great, big reception, and they're not actually married. Again, I still can't find a marriage license. Just saying. So, and then others started to question, and I do as well. Does Jen really believe that he is a scammer? Like, does she just want to live this life? Because I do agree with Evelyn. I do feel like you hear Jen when she said, I just want to be a wife. I want to be a wife. I don't want to be a girlfriend. I want to be a wife. Like, she's willing to tolerate almost anything to be a wife. We saw that in her first marriage. But, like, she wants that title so bad that maybe she does recognize his legal issues, his child support issues, and she's willing to play married but not actually get married so that those legal issues don't start to fall on her. But we'll have to see what happens there. She did talk about it in the episode a little bit later that they're going to make the marriage official and supposedly do that on this season of Basketball Wives. I still can't find the paperwork. Just saying. So Brandy jumps in it and, again, and she's like, kids are off limits, and Jen is still doubling down on how she didn't say anything about her child. She's saying, like, don't be in the middle of it. So what, we've been friends for 20 years. That's done with. And Brittany was pretty much saying the same thing. Like, y'all really not cool like that no more. Y'all just need to figure out how do we exist if y'all are not going to be friends. My neck is so stiff, y'all. But, she said, how are we going to coexist? And Evelyn makes a statement that alludes to the fact that she will not film with Jen anymore. She's saying that this is the last time she will be in her space because there's nothing else to say. I don't know how that works for recording a reality TV show, but that was what she said. I doubt that's the last time they're in the same room filming this show, but that was her comment. Maybe she's just not going to talk to her anymore. I also wanted to say Brandy and Chantel, not too much on Jackie, okay? Like, Brandy is saying that Jackie kind of stirred the pot, starting this conversation that she knew it wasn't going to go well. Chantel saying that same thing, that Jackie can't just let a event go well, that she has to jump in it and cause some type of issues. And I personally feel like lay off Jackie, right? Because it made the show interesting. These are the conversations that we're looking for them to have. I said it last week. We didn't tune in just to watch you do the obstacle course at the ninja place. Like, what she did by starting that conversation, it was needed. And she said, when Chantel was trying to scold her for starting the conversation, Jackie said, like, what? I think the conversation went well. They was able to hash it out and they can either move forward, be friends or not. But it used to go worse than this. So what you mad at? And she like, you just had to address the elephant in the zoo. I always thought it was the elephant in the room. But Chantel says the elephant in the zoo. And Jackie said, yeah, because you ain't hear that elephant. That elephant was over there going, boo. I was cracking up. Like, go ahead, Auntie Jackie. Do what you do. Make the show spicy, honey. Forget what Chantel talking about, trying to be a sisterhood and a peace and a kumbaya. Yeah. Maybe in the real basketball world, but not on TV Basketball Wives world, okay? We want the mess. We love the mess. So not too much on my Auntie Jackie, okay? So that ends. And then where do we go from there? Jackie sits down with Jennifer and Brandy. She wants to check in on Jennifer after the whole argument with Evelyn. And she's pretty much in the clouds still, y'all. Like, can we just leave her there? At this point, Jen is grown. The writing is on the wall. The red flags are waving in her face. She's still saying everything's great with her. Everything's great with her and Christian. And Brandy's saying, like, I just want to check on you and make sure. And she's like, I'm great and nothing to be worried about. I have no issues. Like, girl, she's on a cloud and she's not coming off. So let's just leave her there. Like, you think everything's great, but the man got caught on the 4th for child support. Whatever. Stay wherever you want to stay. She's grown, y'all. I'm tired of talking to her. Everybody and their mama has told her about Christian. The whole internet has told her about Christian. She's not backing down from this relationship. She is gone. Let her stay there. We also see Evelyn talk to Shanice and tell her what Jen said about the game and the whole felon comment. And Shanice, with her calm, poised self, says that she's classless. She doesn't, she's shallow and just overall sad that she has to talk about, the game, her child's father, and she's still in postpartum and she doesn't really have the capacity to deal with the nonsense, and she just really wants Evelyn to leave Jennifer alone. She also talked a lot about Jennifer on their last podcast episode, and she was saying, like, you 50 years old, still talking about me. You already apologized, which means it wasn't genuine for the last time. So you said something about me. And here we go again. Like, you're not a good friend. She's self-absorbed and she don't want to deal with her, and neither does she want Evelyn. So that was Shanice's thoughts about that. I really feel like there's no turning back at this point on Evelyn and Jennifer's relationship. Like, it's over for real this time. Like, it's really over, I think. What else did we see last night? Okay, Ming and Ty, which is the title of the episode, bad timing. But we see that Ty and Ming, well, Ming has spent the night over Ty's house after the whole obstacle course event. I guess they felt like they were getting along and vibing, so she ended up spending the night. But I felt like Ming is very childish. Like, she wants to go over to Ty's house, sleep in the buff, and then tell her, keep saying that, well, I just want to be friends, because she feels like Ty was messing with Drew Sidora, allegedly. But you want to be friends, but you're going to keep her lusting over you or longing for you. It's really childish. And then she tells Ty that she's going to look for her own apartment later that day. So Ty tells her, like, look, we're not going to be sleeping together as friends. Like, there will be no friends with benefits. Either we're together or we're not. Like, I'm going to, we're just really going to be friends, and that's it. And then Ming gets mad. Like, she's not the one that broke it off with Ty. Like, she's not the one that wants to get her own place, doesn't want to be together, saying she doesn't want to be in a relationship, but then she gets upset and leave. I don't get it. But she didn't get a chance to get out the door before Ty let her know, like, yeah, I want to see other people. Shoot, Brandy said that I was cute. Boop! Set off the jealous alarm in Ming's head before she went walking out. She leaves, and Ty go right on to text Brandy and ask her out. I told y'all I want Ty and Brandy to date so bad. Do I think it's really going to happen? No. Is Brandy ever going to leave Jason for real? I don't think so. But I, in my own little fantasy world, want to see them together. And I was glad she told her, like, yeah, I got options out here in LA. So go on about your business and go get your apartment with your creep with your Tales from the Crypt nose. Ming has really messed up her face. A lot of y'all are saying that in the comments too. Like, her face is just, that nose, it don't look good. And she just looks so tight in the face. I don't like it at all. But she's going to get her own place, and Ty is setting up a little get together with Brandy. We then see Ming run to Jen and tell Jen what's going on with her and Ty. She also talks about, like, and that's that too. I don't feel like Ming is totally done with the male species. She keeps getting caught. She got caught by Ty talking to a guy or going on vacation with a guy. She let Jen know that she, because her and Ty are not actually in a relationship, she's talking to a guy. And Jen is telling her, like, I don't think you're really done with that species. We know that Ming this is her first female relationship, maybe not the first woman that she's messed with, but her first female relationship. And I just don't know she's really willing to or ready to give up dating men or sleeping with men. And Jen made that clear, like, you ain't ready to give up the pain, and I don't believe it as well. And we see Brandy and Ty hang out. And they're talking about relationship stuff and how Ty wants children. And, Brandy saying how she wants 4 kids, even though she has one, and the whole egg freezing process. And then I feel like it was edited in there, though, where Ty said, Evelyn told me you said I was cute, because there really wasn't a response to me. It was definitely edited in there. And then you see Brandy in her confession say, Ty has a way about her smile, her swagger. Like, I don't really know Ming like that. She better watch out, or something to that effect, she said. But I don't think she actually told her to her face, like, yeah, I heard you said I was cute. I really think that was edited in. But a girl can dream, can I? They look cute together, having their conversation and supporting each other. I like it, but I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. But it was cute to see them talking about kids and what they want for their futures. Like I said, a girl can dream. Leave me alone. All right. So Ming is still talking to Jen, and she tells Jen about Brandy saying that Ty was cute. And then she starts this made up beef in her head, like, yeah, Brandy, I felt like she was coming for me, with her little, subliminal shade, where she's saying, like, oh, you got your makeup done. And when they showed the flashback, it was kind of like, oh, you got your makeup done? I do mine myself. And Ming saying, like, I'm not good at that. And she was like, you better go to TikTok for free and they'll teach you how to do it. I don't know where the shade was, but it feels something like she's making up in her head because of her jealousy that she just said that Ty was cute. I don't know, but that's a made up beef. It really, nothing came across to me in that video. Y'all let me know, but nothing came across in that flashback that would ensue that Brandy was trying to get shady or smart with Ming. I didn't get that at all. Jen also shares with Ming that she feels like Brandy is getting in the middle of her and Evelyn. She doesn't know if she's really team her or team Evelyn. She wants her to kind of stay out of it, and that she's going to have a conversation with Brandy about it. Before we get to that conversation, though, with Brandy and Jen, we see Brittany go to a Muslim matchmaker, which was interesting. She goes and she's trying to find love, someone in her religion, because she's saying that she's kind of reduced her pool a lot by converting to this religion, and that she wants help finding her husband. And I found it a little funny that she was saying that Jennifer was fake married for social media, when right now Brittany is claiming to be married to Kevin Gates, even though I don't believe, from what I can find as far as paperwork, that he ever divorced Draco Gates, and that they have actually got married. There's no paperwork for that, but she's sporting a ring and calling him her husband at the premiere of Basketball Wives. So are you doing the same? Is it just a religious marriage and not actually on paper? I'm not sure how that works, but I just found that funny. Had to mention that she said that about Jen, and then she's literally doing the same thing. But she goes to the Muslim matchmaker, and they asking her what does she want in a man, and it's not all aligning. They pretty much said, you're describing a golden retriever. And she's like, well, y'all figure it out for me. Bring me some options, because clearly I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I think that might be the best option. So I don't know if we're going to see her actually date anybody from the matchmaker process on this show. We do know she's with Kevin Gates now, but I just don't think that they're actually married. I don't. Ty and Brandy go to the IVF to an IVF consultation. I said, damn, that was quick. Y'all just had one conversation already. You taking her to the IVF clinic, but they wanted Ty to do an exam and check how many eggs she has, because she's interested in the egg freezing process, because she already shared she wants children. Now, I will say, what was concerning for me at this consultation is that Ty really didn't want them to stick the instrument up her vajayjay to check for the eggs. And I'm saying, so you don't go for a yearly gyno checkup? Because no, they don't stick that instrument up there, but they still stick the thing up there to, clamp you open and hold you open so they can swab and get the specimen to send to the lab. So I'm hoping you're doing that yearly, sis. But she looked extremely uncomfortable to have the wand in her and checking for the eggs. But good news, she had about 14 eggs. But they told her, you might want to move quickly that can, decrease very quickly as you age. So you might want to take advantage of them while you have them, retrieve them, and freeze them. So she's kind of like, there's a lot for her to think about, to go through that process, pay for that process, figure out who her baby daddy would be, and all of those things. Is she going to carry the baby? Is someone else going to carry it? Hopefully, Brandy. I can dream. Shut up. But excuse me. It was a lot for her to process in that moment. So we'll see what she ends up doing. But let's just hope she's getting her yearly pap smears. Okay. And Jen sits down with Brandy. And Jen brings the Ming bone to the table and saying, like, yeah, I spoke to Ming and she said that you were a little shady with her. And you said that Ty was cute. And she was basically saying the same thing I was saying. Like, Ming is reaching. She was not being rude. It's a made up beef. Girl, bye. I don't have time for that. I'm over here trying to figure out what I'm going to do with Jason. I don't really have time for that. So she tables that real quick, and then Jen confronts Brandy about coming for her relationship, and Brandy saying, like, I'm not actually coming for your relationship, more so I'm just checking in on you and making sure you're good, because let's be honest, we hear stuff in the blogs every other day about Christian. If it's not, him scamming, lawsuits for alleged scamming, the child support, the baby mother speaking out, the past conviction. There's so much information that has come out about him. She's saying, like, I want to know, are you really okay? Like, is this affecting you at all? And she's, Jen saying, no, it's not affecting me. And once I tell you I'm good, then let it go. And I respect that. And that's what I keep saying. She's grown. She's on cloud nine. Let her float on. Do I believe that eventually something is going to damage their relationship, possibly get her in legal trouble? I absolutely do think that that is a possibility, but she is choosing to ignore those red flags. She's a grown woman. Let her be. Let's just let her be. Don't ask her no more about her relationship, how she feel, how she doing. Let it be. So that is what she's saying. Brandy then also asked her, like, so what about what Evelyn was saying about your relationship not being official, that you're not actually married? And Jen's like, well, we stood between both our pastors. We said our vows. We all know that's not how it works. And that's what Brandy was saying, like, girl, we know you smarter than that. It needs paperwork to be official. So she pretty much lets us know what I already knew, that her marriage is not official, but she is planning a small ceremony in the United States. I don't think that Jen was actually planning anything, because we would have heard that by now, right? I also don't think that Jen would have planned something in Vegas. This is strictly for the show, in my opinion, for someone that's so classy and upscale and Perry wedding. I don't think that this Vegas wedding that we're going to see unfold was already pre-planned. It was, in my opinion, Evelyn brought this up. Let me run home and tell Christian, now we're going to do a Vegas wedding on the show. And I still can't find no paperwork for no Vegas wedding. I'm just saying. But that's what we're going to see unfold on this show. But I don't believe that this was something that was already in the works for her to make it official here in the United States. They would have probably left it as is, because I do think Jen doesn't want to take on any of his financial issues that are looming over his head, allegedly. But I don't know. I just feel like they pulled a Yandy and Mendices when Yandy didn't actually make the marriage official. They just got married on TV because he was going to jail. He had restitutions and she didn't want them to come after her. Even though they can't come after your spouse for restitutions, the law says, but that was her excuse for it. She didn't want to get tied up in it. And that, in my opinion, says that you believe some of this stuff that is being said. I truly do. But I also don't like how Jen is talking to Brandy this season at all. Brandy went live last night, and I said that to her. Like, I feel like she's giving Jen a lot of grace. We saw in the first, at the Friendsgiving, where Brandy jumped in and said, Jen, how you feel about being said? And she's like, however you rephrase it, I'm not talking about it. And then at the the event where she spoke about caring about their friendship or not wanting her to bring up each other's children, like we're better than that. And she cut her off and told her off then. And she, even at this sit down, she's telling her like, everybody needs to cease talking about Christian, including you. It needs to come to a screeching effing halt. And I was just like, Brandy, stop letting her talk to you like that. Like, who are you right now? I'm not used to her giving this much grace, because y'all know Brandy can go 0 to 100 real quick. You know what I mean? So I'm just surprised at the amount of grace that she is giving, Jen, and I want her to stop. But she agreed with me that she's given a lot of grace, that she's, trying to change and grow up. And she said, keep watching. She said, in the season, other people are going to start picking up on it and talking to Jen about that. Like, yo, why you keep talking to Brandy so crazy? But I just feel like she's taking out her issues with Evelyn on Brandy, and I don't know why Brandy is allowing it, but she's trying to give grace. I don't know what the grace is for, but she's well aware of everything going on, and then she still signed up to be with this man, but she's giving her some grace. But Jen tells her, yeah, like, everybody, you need to stop talking about him, and I'm having this wedding. And at first she's saying, like, I don't even know if you're going to be invited and who else, we want people that support our wedding or our marriage there. So Brandy then gives a whole lot of grace and apologizes for being in the middle of it. She did care for their friendship, 20 plus year friendship between her and Evelyn, didn't want to see it go down the drain, but she respects what Jennifer is asking of her. She will stay out of it and not talk about Christian. So ultimately, Jennifer invites her to their wedding. So that's where we leave off. We'll see Jen starts to scramble to put this official wedding together in Vegas. She's inviting all of the girls. She's having this ceremony on Evelyn's birthday, which is hilarious to me. It looks like Evelyn does get invited to Vegas through either Brandy or some of the other girls in the group. So we'll see how that goes. But it was a great episode. I put up some highlights of the episode. One of them got tagged, so I had to take it down. I guess it was just too long. It got tagged by Paramount. But I did put up some clips of the episode, so take a look at that on my Instagram and my Facebook. But I am enjoying this season. Only 3 episodes in, it is getting spicy, honey, and I am loving it. All right, so make sure that you check it out if you haven't. Leave your comments and your thoughts on the episode. Make sure you like this video, hit those thumbs up, please. Share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and again, follow me on Reality Recap. What you see here, reality_recap on Instagram and Facebook for all the reality news. Now, tonight, what do we have coming on tonight? We have The Valley. I don't recap The Valley, but I will give you a sneak peek. I am enjoying the season. I talked about it a bit on Bravo. I talked about it on Monty's podcast. So I did a podcast with Mixing with Monty. Y'all check that out. It's on wherever you listen to your podcast. I also did a great episode with my now cousins, Kaya over at Bravo We're Black. It was a great episode. It's on their YouTube channel as well. Make sure you follow those pages, Mixing with Monty, MANI, as well as Bravo We're Black. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook under Bravo While Black. So please check out those episodes. They're great. I will link them in my bio as well and put them in my IG stories again so that you guys can take a listen and watch on YouTube at your discretion. All right. So we will be back later in the week or over the weekend to talk about Love After Lockup. I'll make sure to give you clips of the Never Ever Mets, which is coming on Fridays, which I'm enjoying as well. I talked a bit about it and put up some clips, so that went crazy with the engagement. You guys are liking the Never Ever Mets. The Valley is great. I love them as well. If you haven't watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Lives, I have finished the 2nd season. Amazing, high drama, cliffhanger on Hulu. Check that out as well. All right. Now, before I get out of here, as I always say, reality TV stars are humans too. Let's not forget that. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. Y'all have a great Tuesday. Peace.